Welcome to the Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Collaboration Training. My name is Chris Young. I am the Assistant Director of Migrant Education Services at Tri-Valley Opportunity Council, and I will be your host today. Thank you for joining us. The purpose of the Migrant Education Program is to address unique educational needs of migratory children, assist in overcoming educational disruption, ensuring students receive full and appropriate opportunities to meet the same challenging content standards, and not to penalize the students for the different disparities among the state's educational systems. Our migrant students travel from state to state and school to school, and there are so many differences in each educational system. So we need to be the link. We need to help them and make sure that they are getting what they need to be successful. The Minnesota Department of Education and North Dakota DPI, Department of Public Instruction, partner with Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Migrant Education Services Department to identify and recruit migrant children ages 0 to 21 who have not received a high school diploma or equivalent. We also determine eligibility for the Title I-C Migrant Education Program and conduct re-interviews. For Minnesota only, we also collect all minimum data elements for migrant student records. We manage the state migrant education database, and we are administrators of the National Migrant Education Database M6 for Minnesota. The Minnesota Department of Education has partnered with Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Migrant Education Services to deliver health to migrant students. And so in the past, children who were enrolled in the Summer Migrant Education Program were eligible to receive age-appropriate health screenings, referrals, and follow-up health services. This year, we are not exactly sure how that's going to work, but we are working on it. Migrant Education Program coordinators have the option to go through Tri-Valley for the Summer Food Service Program. If they would like to do so, they would need to contact Jamie Lee, the Child Nutrition Services Manager, as soon as possible. So why is it important for you as Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Head Start staff to know this information about Title I? Many of our families are the same. By working together, we can connect students to school. We can help remove barriers for students. We can help families in general. We can also help each other, and both programs will be more likely to thrive if we work together. Both programs need to know enough about the other to be able to advertise it and answer questions families may have, or at least know who the family can go to for the answer. Together, we can be stronger. So, what if? What if you find a family that has children ages 3 and 4, but they do not qualify for Migrant Seasonal Head Start? But you know one of the parents worked in agriculture the past 3 years. And you know that they moved across district lines to find work and to be able to provide for their family. Then what? What do you do? Take a few seconds to think about this. What would you do? Now let's take a look at more information and see if we can find the answer. One of our top priorities is to identify and recruit all migrant children ages 0 up to 22. In order to determine eligibility for the Title I Migrant Education Program, you must be certified annually. Our certified staff consists of regional recruiters, Randall, Region 1, Yadira, Region 2, Marie, Region 3, and we also have seasonal recruiters. We will have 2 seasonal recruiters in Minnesota. One is Francisca, who was recently hired, and the other one will be hired soon, and then one in North Dakota. In addition, we contract with school districts in Minnesota to certify migrant liaisons, and we have about 22 school districts that have certified migrant liaisons that can determine eligibility. However, some are not able to work right now due to COVID-19. Claudia Melodic is the supervisor for IDNR for Title I, and she trains on eligibility. If you have any questions about eligibility or qualifying activities, please contact Claudia Melodic. For collaboration with recruitment, please contact the regional recruiters. This year, the RFAs will not be certified to determine eligibility for the Title I-C Migrant Education Program, but you are still encouraged to advertise and advocate for Title I in order to help recruit families. The Title I-C recruitment team will reciprocate the efforts by doing the same for the Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Head Start programs. We hope we can work together to find and serve as many families as possible. Again, we will be serving many of the same families, and it is important for us to know enough about each other's programs to be able to explain them to the families and to answer their questions, or at least know who to refer them to or to go to for the answer. If one of the Title I-C recruiters comes across a family that's not qualified for Title I, but may be qualified for the Migrant Seasonal Head Start program, that recruiter will then contact the center manager and let them know about the family, as long as it's okay with the family. Another one of our priorities is managing the data systems and student records for all migrant students in the state of Minnesota. Linda Fournier is our Migrant Education Services Data System Specialist, and you can go to her about questions regarding M6 or MIS 2000. Kathy Skluzacek is our Migrant Education Services Data Coordinator. She will be following up on all of the COEs this year and can be contacted if a copy of the COE is needed once it's approved. If parents have questions about their students' records or transferring credits or credit accrual issues, you can go to Kathy or Linda and they should be able to help you find the answer or get the assistance that you need or that the family needs. Like I said previously, we collect all of the minimum data elements for all migrant student records in the state of Minnesota. Some of those elements include enrollment dates and withdrawal dates, residency verification dates, grades and transcripts for each term, and information on EL status, IEPs, immunizations, assessments. All of that information is collected for each migrant student in the state of Minnesota. We collect it and then we input it into MIS 2000, and then from there it gets uploaded into M6, into the National Migrant Student Information Exchange. It is in order, we have that in place in order to help our migrant students and remove the barriers that may prevent them from getting the education that they need and being successful. For the state of Minnesota, we manage the Migrant Education Database, which is MIS 2000. We manage all of the users in MIS 2000. We provide training and troubleshooting for all certified staff throughout the state of Minnesota. We develop and maintain reports, manuals, COEs, guides, and whatever else is needed. We manage the maintenance and updates. We work with MS-Ed to make sure everything is up to date and ready to be used. We are the link between all systems that talk to MIS 2000, so we work with Minute at MDE, we work with the MARS people, and anyone else that we need to work with to make sure that everything is up to date and ready to be used. We manage all the data that goes in and out, including doing the reports for the CSPR and making sure that we're providing data for people that need it in order to make data-driven decisions. And we just try to be as helpful as we can. We are the administrators of the National Migrant Education Database for Minnesota, and that database is called M6, the Migrant Student Information Exchange. And what we do is manage the users, manage move notices, the duplicate students, data requests, etc. We ensure that all 73 minimum data elements are collected for each migrant student in the state of Minnesota. We provide training and troubleshooting for TVOC staff and district staff throughout Minnesota. We follow and implement all federal and state guidelines, and we reconcile missed enrollments, child count reconciliation, and other reports. Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Migrant Education Services Department conducts the quality control measures for Minnesota and North Dakota. We have regional recruiters that conduct and complete 50 re-interviews each year for each state. They independently interview families and check each criterion that makes children eligible for the migrant education program. And we do this each year just to make sure that our eligibility determinations are accurate and we're counting an accurate number of children. And it's also designed to provide us early warning signs and help us identify and fix problems that need to be fixed. In addition, we get feedback from the families if their children had attended programs in each state, North Dakota or Minnesota, migrant education programs, and then we let centers or sites know about the feedback that we get from the families. If you are not certified to determine eligibility for the Title I Part C Migrant Education Program, it is still good for you to know what some of the indicators are that a child may be migrant, and then be able to refer them to the Title I program. So some of the indicators include if a parent or guardian has worked in agricultural work, work that is seasonal, so like picking rock or working with corn, packing peas, or temporary work like milking cows, processing eggs, that type of thing, due to economic necessity. The child or youth, and remember they can be aged 0 through 21, has moved across district lines within 3 years and has not graduated. And they don't have to move with the parent or guardian. They could come before the parent, they could come after. The child or youth could actually be the agricultural worker, him or herself, as well. And also the parent or guardian, or if it's the child, him or herself, they have to have moved within 3 years, so 36 months for the Title I C MEP program. Now back to our first scenario, our first what if. What if you find a family that has children ages 3 and 4 but does not qualify for Migrant Seasonal Head Start? The parents have worked in agriculture within the past 3 years, so maybe 28 months ago they worked in agriculture, and they moved across district lines to find work and to be able to provide for their family. They don't qualify for the Migrant Seasonal Head Start program, but what would you do? Obviously, if we work together, we're going to be stronger and we're going to reach more families. But how can we help families and each other? What are some things that we can do to work together, to collaborate, to help each other and to help families, to build our programs and make them stronger? If you come across a child that may be eligible for the Title I C Migrant Education Program and is not eligible for the Migrant Seasonal Head Start program, we would like you to coordinate with Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Migrant Education Services to ensure proper identification, placement, and reporting of migratory children for Title I Part C, Education of Migratory Children. So what does that mean? How do I coordinate with Migrant Education Services is a question that you may be asking. So what we're asking you to do, and again, this is only if the child does not qualify for Migrant Seasonal Head Start Services, because if they qualify for the MSHS program, we will already have their information. If they do not qualify but are possibly migrant and would qualify for the Title I Part C migrant education program, then we would want you to let the parent know that someone will be contacting them because that they may qualify for the Title I-C program. And we ask that you give a short commercial about our program and answer any questions that they may have or refer them to the proper person to get their questions answered. We then ask that you fill out a recruitment request form, and then a certified recruiter will interview the family to determine if the child is eligible. It helps the recruiter to be able to interview the family in a school or at the center if they are uncomfortable being interviewed at home. So if that's something that you would allow, that would be wonderful. So when should you fill out a recruitment request? If the child or children do not qualify for Migrant Seasonal Head Start, but they or their parent may qualify for Title I-C, Part C, then yes, go ahead and fill out a recruitment request. So maybe the children do qualify for Migrant Seasonal Head Start, and you notice that their parent is under 21 and has not graduated, maybe their parent would qualify. So you're going to want to fill out a recruitment request in that situation. If the family is not in the Child Plus enrollment, but there are indicators that the child may be migrant, then we ask you to fill out a recruitment request. If the child qualifies for Migrant Seasonal Head Start and has been enrolled in Child Plus, we do not need that information. We already have access to it, so you do not need to fill out a recruitment request. Only if the child or the parent are not already in the Child Plus system. Again, our charge from the federal government is to identify and recruit all migrant children in the state of Minnesota that are ages 0 to 21. So it is really important that we find every qualified, eligible migrant child or youth in the state and identify them and make sure that they get into our count. It's important for them to be able to receive the services that they may need, and it's important for us to maintain the program and receive the funding. Thank you for your help in this quest. All right, everybody, now we get to learn some fun facts about the Minnesota Migrant Education Program. Hopefully these facts will help you to know more about the program and to be able to help families as much as possible. So did you know that there are over 1,300 migrant students that have been identified in Minnesota? 42% of those Minnesota migrant students are also homeless. 8% of those students move within Minnesota from town to town. 77% of our students come from Texas. Eagle Pass is the city that is the most popular home base. Over 150 schools in Minnesota had at least one migrant student last year, and we need to work with each of those schools to get the records for each of the migrant students that are in the schools. I've also included some stories that are about migrant families, and if you don't know much about the migrant program, these are great stories for you to listen to. Some of the top qualifying activities in Minnesota include working with peas, so packing, cleaning, hauling peas, corn, detasseling corn, sorting corn, picking rock for field preparation, grading, sorting, packing, and fieldwork with potatoes, harvesting sugar beets. Other frequent qualifying activities include packing soybeans, milking cows, caring for chickens, and packing radishes. Now, we do have a list that's posted on our webpage with multiple qualifying activities. If you don't find a qualifying activity on that list, it does not mean that it's not a qualifying activity. There are many qualifying activities out there that we do not have on the list. So if it's not on the list and it's a qualifying and it's an activity that a family has done, please let us know and we can determine if it is a qualifying activity or not, because it very well may be. This summer, we are anticipating that the Title I Summer Migrant Education programs are going to be virtual. This is not a decision that is final, so I just want you to know that, but we do think that this summer will be different, no matter if it's virtual or not. Virtual possibilities may open up more opportunities for students to be served throughout Minnesota. So maybe students that typically cannot be served because they're not in a certain geographic location, maybe this year they will be able to be served. Just getting them a device and making sure they have internet access. The locations that are anticipated to be the Title I Summer Migrant Education programs are BBE, Bold, Glencoe Silver Lake, Monticello, Sleepy Eye, Owatonna, and Plainview Elgin Millville. I want you to take note that we do not anticipate a program in Breckenridge this summer, but you never know if we will be able to still serve students from that area virtually. We also have District 287 that could be available for students that would like to earn credits. So they may be behind in credits, or they may just want to get ahead in credits. And if that's the case, we would need to contact Liddy Guzman. She is the secondary programs director, and she works in Hamlin, but is also a partner with us and with MDE. So just once again, going over some of the indicators of qualifying for the Title I Migrant Education Program. A qualifying move for the worker and child in the past 36 months must include the change of residency due to economic necessity and be from one district to another. The migratory agricultural workers or migratory fishers are those workers who engage in temporary or seasonal jobs soon after a qualifying move. And a child's qualifying move should be with, to join, or precede a migratory agricultural worker or migratory fisher, or on his or her own as the migratory agricultural worker or migratory fisher. So, if at any time a migratory agricultural worker engaged in temporary or seasonal jobs within the past 36 months, they could very well be qualified for the migrant education program. That is a very good indicator that they may be migrant. So if they have engaged in temporary or seasonal jobs or qualifying work within 36 months, please refer them to us. And if they are not already in the Migrant Seasonal Head Start program, and we will determine if they're eligible or not. The Minnesota Department of Education has a spot where there is a list of all migrant liaisons for each school district in the state of Minnesota. Now, every school district has not added a person, but that list is becoming more and more full every day. So we're grateful for that. We encourage school districts to add someone that is their migrant liaison that can help advocate for students. That person will also be the point of contact for us when we, Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Migrant Education Services, need to contact the school district about student records or transcripts or enrollment withdrawal dates. That will be the go-to person for us. As Migrant Seasonal Head Starts, if you have families that are asking questions or if you need to contact a school district, the Migrant Liaison list is there for you as well to utilize if needed. And this is just kind of a little disclaimer maybe. When parents sign off on the Certificate of Eligibility, the COE, they authorize the school district, the Minnesota Migrant Education Program, Hamlin, Merck, and Tri-Valley Opportunity Council to release and transfer any of their child's education or health records to or from other schools and educational agencies. So when a parent is signing the COE, they do authorize that for us to be able to do those things. And now with COVID-19, we are not requiring the recruiters to get a parent signature. Verbal authorization can be obtained, and then they would just mark that on the COE and submit it from there. All right, so here's another what if. What if a parent asks you where he or she could get educational records for his school-age children? Maybe he or she cannot remember which school that they attended or that they were at last, and they have not registered yet for this school year. What do you tell them? So what you would tell them is to contact Linda Fournier or Kathy Sklzacek, and they can access their educational records that are in M6, or they can help facilitate the process of getting those records. Okay, now what if a family comes in to register for Migrant Seasonal Head Start? And the 3 and 4-year-old do not qualify for Migrant Seasonal Head Start, but the mom is 20 years old and has not graduated. She worked picking strawberries in California and moved to Minnesota 2.5 years ago to find more affordable housing and work. There is not a Title I Part C summer program in the area. What do you do? So if the family does not qualify for the Migrant Seasonal Head Start program, or the kids do not qualify, we would not be getting their information in Child Plus. So we would need to get a referral from you. So you would need to fill out a recruitment request, and then a recruiter can contact the family and determine eligibility. So we would definitely want you to talk to the family and let them know that that was what you were going to do, and make sure that it's okay with them, because they may be qualified for the Title I C summer program. The mom may be qualified, and the kids. Remember, we go back 3 years, so if they've engaged in qualifying work within 3 years and meet the other criteria, they could be qualified. Again, you do not have to determine that. The recruiter, the Title I certified recruiter, will determine that. But if you could just fill out the recruitment request and make sure that that's okay with the family, we will go ahead then and interview the family and determine if they are eligible. And it does not matter if there's a Title I C summer program in the area or not. We still want to make sure we are identifying every single student that is eligible for the migrant education program. There is a federal law that requires the Department of Education to ensure the linkage of migrant student record systems for the purpose of electronically exchanging among the states health and educational information regarding all migratory students. So the Education Department decided to or developed the Migrant Student Information Exchange, which is the national database that houses all migrant student educational records. The Minnesota Department of Education partners with Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Migrant Education Services to collect and enter all of the 73 minimum data elements for each migrant student that's in the state of Minnesota. So we work closely with school districts. We also work closely with other systems that help us to get that information, for instance, MCAs and state assessments. We work with MDE to make sure that those are uploaded into MIS 2000, which then gets uploaded into M6. And if you have any questions, or if there are counselors or other school staff that would like access to M6, Linda Fournier can help you through that process. There's a short application that you need to fill out and a few other requirements. They are available online on our webpage, but you could also contact her and she could walk you through the process. She also does the training for M6. If you know of someone that needs help, that's a secondary migrant student or a parent of a secondary migrant student, Liddy Guzman is the secondary program coordinator, and she does a great job. She's a wonderful advocate. She will do everything she can to help. Her contact information is 651-645-9005, or she has an email address that she can be reached at lguzman, lguzman, LGUZMAN02 at hamlin.edu. And if you need any help with any secondary information, or if there are OSY students that need help, contact Liddy and she would be happy to help you. Hey center staff, migrant seasonal Head Start centers, did you know that you can order from MERC? MERC is Midwest Migrant Education Resource Center, and they have a ton of resources that you can order. Everything is free. It's free to ship. You ship it back for free. You can use it. It's like a lending library for any staff working with migrant students, and it is amazing. If they do not have something that you're looking for, you just let Rhonda know, and she will most likely try to find it for you. You can contact them at 651-645-9005, or you could email them at mmerc@hamlin.edu. And again, they're a partner. MDE partners with them to provide this amazing service, and every time teachers from the Migrant Seasonal Head Start centers use the MERC resources with migrant students, we can count for Title I Part C, we can count those students as using a support service for our program. So not only will they get counted for Migrant Seasonal Head Start centers, but they will also get counted as a support service for the migrant education program through Title I Part C. So amazing opportunities for both programs and wonderful, wonderful resources. And Rhonda Isaacs is the person to talk to, or you could talk to Liddy Guzman as well, but either one of them will be able to help you. Hey guys, did you know that the Minnesota Migrant Education Program helps to link health and nutrition services to migrant students? If you would like more information about that, please contact Cindy Boudreau, she's the Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Health Services Manager, or Jamie Lee, the Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Child Nutrition Services Manager. Don't forget to fill out the partnership agreement. Center managers should work with the MEP coordinator to ensure completion of the partnership agreement prior to the Title I MEP start date. Now, this may look a little bit different for this year with COVID-19, and we may need to update the partnership agreement, but it is still important to meet with your counterparts and with the people that you are collaborating with to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Once you meet, a copy should be signed and scanned to me, Chris Young, and then CC Noemi Trevino within 1 week after the meeting has occurred. Please include health staff, center staff, regional recruiters, and anyone else that you are collaborating with. Like I said, it's really important for everyone to be on the same page and everyone to be able to advertise and answer questions that the families may have about each other's programs. We are working together to help each other thrive. Some possible discussions include registration and forms. Who does what? How does it work? How will services look with distance learning and everything else that's going on? What are the needs of families and how can we help them? So all of those things can be discussed during this partnership agreement. Please make sure to complete it as soon as possible prior to the start date of the Title I Migrant Education Program. All right, so now that we've gone through all of this wonderful information, how can we help families and help each other? How can we put those pieces together to make our programs even stronger? How can we serve more families? How can we work together? How can we work smarter, not harder? What are your suggestions? Do you have any ideas? Let's hear it. This page includes the Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Migrant Education Services contact information. So it includes the name of the person, their title, their email, and then a phone number. So please feel free to contact us with any questions you may have or for any collaboration needs that you may have. We'll be happy to help you. Hey, check it out. We have the Minnesota Migrant Education Hotline, which is 1-800-890-4853. And that number will, when we're in the Lee Center office, will ring on any of our phones. So we're excited about that. If it goes to voicemail, you can choose who you want to talk to, any of us in the Lee Center office or Randall, so that's great. And then we also have a recruitment request that we've been talking about. So you go to our webpage and click on recruitment request, and then a recruiter will contact you and determine if you are eligible or not. Families can also, or you can also hold your camera up and go over that QR code and it'll bring you right to our page to the recruitment request. If you need to mail anything to us or come visit us, our address is 200 East Bowler Street in Lee Center, and we would be happy to help you. Please contact us.